And welcome back everybody to coverage of the Tencent LPL Summit. It is week 5 on day 2 here as Royal take on Positive Energy for our second game. My name is Pastry Time. I'm going to be joined by Papa Smithy. Papa, very one-sided opening game here for EPHK, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the case here though, but two very evenly matched teams here for the LPL in my opinion. What can we expect here between these two?
It's just a really interesting one, Pastry Time. I mean, Positive Energy was the only team only top team you could argue to avoid giant killing yesterday. They were able to take down EPHK, but were behind at points in that match, which I guess feels a little bit farcical given just how easily OMG dispatched EPHK in the last game. But still, I mean, they still did pull out and play some impressive League of Legends after that. And Royal here, they're on a bit of a wave of form. And the last time we saw this game, the second match we cast from the Tencent LPL, it was that 4 assassin comp coming out from Royal. Whereas here we see some more picks that are in line with what took down Invictus Gaming yesterday. The return once again of that white support Annie, you'd have to think.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things where when we first started seeing Royal, when we entered the coverage about week 3, it felt like Royal, kind of playing around with a couple of things and kind of finding their footing. Definitely seems like yesterday, and the last week as well, the end of week 4, they've really just kind of found what works for them and started playing it. And absolutely, the support Annie there from Tabe, a big thing to make that comp going. I think the draft here actually has gone quite a ways through it here, but definitely want to check out what's going on. So the bans, very interesting between these two. Royal, Orianna, Lysandra, Zac. Kind of makes a lot of sense. I guess Orianna, a nod to Jojo there on the PE side. Twisted Fate, Elise, and most importantly, Fizz gets banned by Positive Energy. No more White's Fizz. Absolutely no more. So
where does he go now, Pastry Time? I mean, his Kassadin is available here. It will be a blind pick mid lane, so maybe it'll be something safer. It looks like Karthus is one of the considerations coming out here. But, Gragas? They are considering their options, Royal.
I think Gragas would definitely fit Royal a little more, and there they go. They're actually going to go with Gragas. They've got Shyvana as well as their jungler, of course, going to move Shen up towards that top lane, which is always nice to see. I mean, they could put Annie mid and do something crazy with Gragas, but I imagine that's going to be Gragas there for Whites. He's going to take that into the mid lane. Again, Royal seem to really find their footing. They like to play, 1 or 2 assassins and be aggressive and, kind of give Uzi space to snowball, because he's one of the few AD players that really seems to do well when he's ahead. I mean, everyone does well when they're ahead. That's a given, right? But Uzi in particular seems to do really well when he can get a foothold into the game, and it seems like Royal are kind of building around his ability to do that more. And they kind of had to get away from Caitlyn, couldn't do so much pushing. It's actually on the PE side, interestingly enough. So we're going to see Caitlyn one more time. In fact, their comp barely had a chance to get through it as the game's getting started here. Renekton, Lee Sin, Zed, Caitlyn, and Thresh, very similar it seems like to what we saw Energy Pacemaker run in just the last game we had.
It is, and didn't treat them so well, but the Gragas pick, I guess, is the big unknown to me. I mean, the reason why Royal changed their playstyle the first time is that their fast push comp with Caitlyn started getting target banned by enemies. Now we're seeing the Fizz comp being target banned. Of course, Fizz was kind of the cornerstone of that comp. They were sending Fizz top against those tanks. He was winning 1v1 against Renekton. He was winning 1v1 against Shen, and then got to the stage where he could DPS anyone down instantly during the duration of the Chum the Waters there. Now we've got Gragas here, and Gragas is a similar and a completely different champion when it comes to Fizz. I mean, he splits most lanes. He can really snowball and get ahead, which plays into Royal's playstyle, but not as strong in those 1v1 matchups up top against the Shen. So you probably not going to see the forced White's top lane situation. But it looks like we are going to see perhaps some aggression coming out here in level 1.
Yeah, just Royal moving through, looking to get the key wards down over on the red side of the jungle. They plot one down there just to the left of mid, and they've got one in the red brush now as well. So going to have vision of when Jing on Lee Sin there is over at that particular buff. And this is very standard from a lot of teams. Moving through safely as a team. If you get a kill, great. Both teams have reasonable level 1 options they could go for. They could have the Shen taunt. Tabe, of course, got the stun. In fact, one of the biggest things for me that indicates Royal's play in the early game is the fact that Tabe often plays this support Annie, and they're always aggressive level 1 with it, always moving through the jungle. And even if they don't get a kill, fine, but they're at least going to get those wards down.
I mean, an AoE stun at level 1 is definitely the indication of a strong level 1 comp, and it serves them so well. I mean, Shen could potentially level that taunt first, but of course that decreases his ability to trade very early in lane. So, I mean, Tabe loses nothing from taking W at level 1, so it just gives him so much control.
Yeah, and even, when they move down towards the lane, having that stun there, also nice as well. Looks like Jing here finishing up his blue now. Buff spawned a few seconds ago there, and actually gonna move into the mid here for everyone, apparently. All of Positive Energy want to have a party, apparently. I mean, Uzi's here in the mid, maybe tipping the hand a little there. In fact, we're having an aggressive invade with Annie and Shyvana right now. They're moving through. In fact, Gragas is moving up as well. I have no idea what's going on, by the way. But Royal apparently are four-manning a red buff at level 2, and there it's gone. It's done. It's absolutely done. In fact, Jingyi going to get caught out as well. Great stun there from Tabe, and that's going to be a quick kill there for Whites. And I have not seen invades this aggressive since old school Gambit Gaming, back when they were Moscow 5. That was insane.
And that early red rush ward, the early red ward serves a dual purpose. The one thing you can say is that, of course, Lee Sin's gank pressure goes through the roof when he picks that up. He obviously has a kit that allows him great mobility and ganking at level 3 when he has an ability, a point in all abilities. But of course, red buff obviously adds damage and extra slow to that, so it makes it more potent. So the one thing you do when you ward the level 1, actually more trade damage coming down the bottom.
Godlike getting a little low, but Jojo has to be careful. There's so many minions there in that wave. Did not calculate that trade properly, but thankfully not going to get chased out there by Shen. In fact, Godlike maybe thinking about going deep. He finds the flash taunt, and there's the Vorpal Blade under turret for the kill. Very, very impressive there from Godlike, and that was a miscalculation entirely of that minion wave from Jojo.
And we normally expect the flash taunt to make those amazing late game plays, but even in lane pastry time, apparently it's still very potent.
Yep, Thresh are looking for a hook as well. Positive Energy actually pressuring mid here with Thresh Caitlyn, so really going to bully down this Gragas, and kind of unlike Blitz Caitlyn, which we've seen a little bit of, sorry, not Blitz Caitlyn, Blitz AD carry. I guess never Caitlyn, that would be a little awkward, but
Blitz lanes?
Yes, we've seen Blitz lanes, Blitz duo lanes mid, and it's kind of interesting because they can do a lot of pressure and they've got lots of kill potential in the 2v1 situation, but they feel like they can't push as well. Thresh has absolutely both of those things in spades. He can use his range auto attack, he even gets extra AD if he levels a Flay as well with those souls being collected, sorry. So they can really pressure turrets and they've got kill potential. And now Uzi in the top lane. Gonna look for K9's Venom cast, forces a flash out there from K9's. And apparently Royal, they've found their stride. They love being aggressive. In fact, even
that Blitzcrank mid, I mean, we saw in the Oceanic Championships, we were casting the strength of having a roaming Blitzcrank mid, and that I can understand. It gives you so much buff control with the ability to hook them, but we've actually seen more Blitzcrank bottom lane, which to me is kind of in a 2v1 situation, just a bit of a, it's just one of those things where you're just admitting that you're okay with that. It doesn't really force anything. It doesn't create anything like the Blitzcrank mid might do.
Yeah, and as you see, Lucky just forced a flash up there and towards the top lane. Again, trying to continue to be aggressive here towards the top side of the map. Going to group up actually as 3v1, potentially Jing walking away from the top lane. Renekton's already gone back to the shop as well. Needs a few more items here. This top tower actually could fall quite quickly here. Positive Energy would be immediately on the back foot up against Royal. In fact, it is going to go down here. Uzi even walking forward, maybe looking to proxy this wave up. Actually just denying here for Royal, so they're making sure they lose Renekton as much as possible. Know the tower's going to go down. There's a big stack of minions here as well. Twitch is actually going to do a little bit of proxying there as well. And there it goes. First turret of the game for Royal at 5.5 minutes.
And Shyvana, we've talked about her damage ganks, how well she follows up a strong CC laner. We've neglected the fact that with that burnout, she effectively mirrors Nasus in terms of being able to help with early pushes. She might not give that AoE armor penetration that makes the Spirit Fire so strong, but they push down a turret very fast with AoE down waves, and then of course she has the auto attack reset on her Q.
Yeah, and just that little bit of pressure from the top lane, but that served them well before, as converted very, very nicely into an early tower here. Be interesting to see if Royal move some of their champions around now to different lanes. In fact, it looks like Twitch Annie is going to head bottom lane now, and one of the nice things I actually really like about this swap, in particular with Twitch and Annie, is that you kind of expect to move through lanes and maybe get some dragon control, maybe take dragon. I really like the fact that they can actually literally ambush Jojo in the bottom lane. And that's kind of a scary ganking team. If Shen Taunt comes through, then the Annie stun, plus just Twitch ambushing on top of you, that could potentially create a kill. And that's not something you usually see in your general dual lane transitions to the other lane.
I just want to commend Royal on being on the front foot in multiple cases in this game, as we see them starting to go on the dragon here. They had aggressive wards down that got them a kill and an extra buff. They gave the blue buff to Whites with the view that, okay, it is Gragas in a 1v2 against the longest range AD carry in the early lane in Caitlyn, of course Thresh, so very high pressure matchup for a melee champion or a glorified melee champion in Gragas. And I'll expand further, but I think shenanigans are coming down.
It looks like a dive is coming. Uzi there with the ambush actually finds a slow. And there's a living shadow. An immediate stun there. And there's the cast for Gragas. An easy clean up there for Uzi, who picks it up on Twitch. Royal could even turn this into a 4-man push down the bottom as well. You can see Godlike's actually moving up towards the top lane to move K9's out of the top lane. Oh my goodness, not even doing it. They're actually taking blue buff. The other two. There we are. There's blue going over to Lucky, who smites it off. I mean, don't quite want to convert here, actually moving towards mid. The other two there is Tabe and Lucky go to defend off that push, but a lot of pressure here for Royal early on, and again, kind of using the convenient movement around the map very, very effectively.
I mean, you say convenient, but it's been effortful, right? Having that ward down the enemy red opened up a kill and, increased jungle pressure, giving the blue buff in mid, held off. I mean, Gragas can't clear waves with his Q till level 9. I mean, that's a long way into the lane phase. Against a Caitlyn, that's going to be super painful, especially in this 3.9 patch where you'd expect Caitlyn to DPS down a melee champion's turret in no time at all. But giving him the blue buff, it equalized that lane a bit. That Shyvana 3v1 top got them that turret, they've converted that into an enemy blue buff, a turret dive, a dragon. This is all Royal playing on the front foot, playing intelligently. And it's great to see.
Oh, great double stun from Tabe there as well. White's wishing he had his ultimate backup, but wasn't quite there yet. And Name and Stick are going to have to get out of there. Uzi did take out the bottom turret there as well, so plenty of pressure coming out here. 3,500 gold already the lead here for Royal, and crucially, of course, those two turrets. I mean, having 3 kills on the board and 2 turrets down is kind of good maths in terms of wanting to get kills and then taking objectives. We see kind of teams every now and then as White's going to get hooked up here, but just a little bit of damage. Doesn't walk on a Yordle snap trap, so should be okay. Although the tower a little low in mid, so maybe going to
surviving till 9 minutes though, very, very respectable for Gragas in that lane. And again, like the Royal we saw in this reverse matchup 2 weeks ago or so now, they tried the 4 assassins. It was very gimmicky and they kind of got caught out by positive energy. The Royal today playing from the front.
Absolutely. Here now, White's going to look for the ultimate, finds it on the Sika. Great moves there. Now the stun comes on. The Dragon's descent over the top in there as well. The box activated there, but pretty much to no avail as Sika does go down there on that thresh. And now Royal looking to take the last turret they really, really want here. And of course, it's the outer mid turret. We talk about how important it is. Burnout for Shyvana. Going to cleave where those minions with ease. But Jing looking to kick back. He actually finds Uzi. The death mark will obliterate that Twitch as he goes down to Jojo. And Royal there, a little bit of pep taken out of the step. A lot of their damage actually. 2 melees and an Annie left to try and push down that turret, so it looks like they're going to move away from that one here as Name and Jojo are able to defend that one off. I think
the ward jump there keeps the turret up, you'd have to say, page 2 times, so lovely Lee Sin mechanics coming down there from Jing.
I think so too, but to extend on what you were kind of talking about earlier, how Royal had their 4 assassin comp and then kind of didn't do too well, I think they've taken the best elements of that comp and identified how they like to play and really just refined it to a point where it looks really, really good now.
I mean, their play this game has almost been textbook, right? It's been, boom, we'll do this, boom, we'll invade their jungle, boom, we'll take top turret, boom, we'll take it into a dragon and a buff steal, and we'll even get a turret dive. Like, that's such calculated play that, I mean, Royal couldn't have been further away from that in their execution of that 4 assassin comp a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that they're kind of like, okay, this is what we like to do. How do we do it not terribly, basically? And I think this is a product of a lot of refinement, a lot of practice on their part, and a lot of thinking. And that's one of the great things about a league format is that the teams play over and over. I mean, we started in week 3, bit of sloppy play here and there. We mentioned Royal here, Stage United for Lucky going to come through. We're going to try and make it happen, but a good move back there. I think Flay happened to move that Shyvana out of the way. So no stage now, but a great ult there from White. Absolutely on top of the damage there on Sika as Godlike's going to pick up that kill. Now Uzi's going to join the mix. Not even there for that one, but picks up the kill on the Jing as he pops a spray and pray there for a little bit of damage. Renekton scrambling to move towards the mid lane here, but it's 5v3 in the mid for Royal. Tabe aggressively stuns. The tip is in there as well. Dragon's descent over the top. There's so much damage and Shyvana even flashes forward. Picks up the double kill for it as well. K9's here going to try and defend off there, but the taunt's going to come through as well. Not done yet, chasing this from Renekton. Popped his ultimate to try and stay alive there, but the damage still coming in. People tanking maybe a few too many turret hits there, but everyone from Royal gets out. They'd love this mid turret if they could get it. It would be a tragedy if that wasn't the case, but Uzi's proxying the way between the turrets there around the side, and that's going to be a very easy out of turret after all their hard work.
And the exciting thing for Royal fans is that they've timed their run to perfection. If they win this game and go 8-6, a win here will take them to 8-6, they're outright second. And this is with both World Elite and Invictus Game and the other teams at 7-6 to play. But they're outright third in the LPL, which, coming from behind, coming from a sub 50% win rate, with just this well-timed wins and this great play, it just serves them well for this latter half of the LPL summer.
And that goes back to what I was saying about how great League play is for that reason. You play, the same teams play each other over and over again in an environment, you know, we started in week 3, Royal didn't look this great week 3. 2 weeks later, I mean, not even just Royal, every team yesterday looked like a new team practically, and it's so awesome to see just how the teams take what they learn week in, week out, having to play against such good teams in their region, you know, every single weekend, and just the play gets better and better. And at this point, you know, in week 3 we maybe could have called each match at that point, being like, okay, from what we know about the scene, it seems like these teams should win when they play each other, but right now, it's almost anyone's game in the LPL. Oh, good grab onto Lucky as well. They're going to maybe follow up here, Shyvana. Going to get crippled up by that Lee Sim, but there's another great, oh, poor Sika can never catch a break there. And Whites, one more time, is proving why he's just such a great assassin player.
And probably the sleekest thing of that whole engage, and it might have gone unnoticed, and it might seem small at this point, was that Lucky stole that blue buff. He still has his Smite available, so he actually stole it, I believe, with his Q. So they can even have the security of knowing the Smite is up for this dragon.
Yeah, and they'll happily take that dragon away as well. I mean, you said you know, the execution is amazing. This play is incredibly precise from Royal, just absolutely, completely over this map. I mean, you said it, they seem to kind of come in with a plan, and everything has gone swimmingly so far for Royal. Positive energy. No slouches of a team have looked great in the last few weeks, especially of the LPL. Significantly behind you by about, to the tune of about 6,000 gold.
It's just such solid player that, you know, you can feel confident the manager, the coach, the analyst of Royal is just going to be sitting there watching this game, and his feedback at the end of the game is going to be a lot shorter than usual, just because so far, you know, we are only speaking 30 minutes into the game, they've executed on their team plans perfectly, and that is just a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it's converted into some nice items as well. Rod of Ages finished up for Gragas already. Sunfire Cape finished up for Twitch with 2 cloth armors, likely for a Wooden's Mail also in there as well. We've Blade of the Ruin Kings finished up. In fact, Uzi's going to put it to good use there on top of Name. In fact, going forward, the ambush move speed maybe going to be enough to spray and break. Cleanses off the hook just to make sure he can keep doing damage. And that's a kill there out in the Caitlyn as well. That was really cute from Uzi.
Yeah, I mean, not always despite the fact that cleansing that stun on the Q of Thresh can be effective. It's not always the best choice, just because he can still come in, and if it's, you know, if the Thresh lane's winning, you can still get in there and flay and apply CC. But when you're winning, securing kills is a lovely thing.
Yeah, Uzi very aggressively using that cleanse, which is not something we normally say about that summoner spell, but I mean, just aggression overall here from Royal. They've really executed perfectly here, it seems like, in the early stages of this game, and looking to really have a home advantage here. 4 for 1 in turrets right now, 10 to 2 in kills. Looks like they're going to make it a 5th turret here as the tier 2 is going to drop in the top lane. And positive energy, they need to find an answer and find it quickly there. Sika looks for a hook. We're not going to do anything there. Whiteside looking for another ultimate. Whoa, what happened there as Name rides a lantern? Now K9 so in trouble as the damage comes in. Shyvana burner AoEing down everyone there as K9's going to get out of the way. Renekton Lucky very, very low. Stand United just keeping him alive almost through that all. As 4 members of Royal are still left here. 2 for 1 there on that trade. And they're continuing to push aggressively here as well.
The last tick of the night taking down Lucky there, but 2 members down for PE. We're all still going to back off here and look to secure any map objectives they can.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've probably got plenty of gold to spend here. Don't want to get too aggressive here. I mean, Lucky is down. If they wanted to take neutral buffs, then of course they would need their Smite there as well. And just in general, probably going to go back and spend some gold here. I can see Zeal on Twitch being picked up here as well. Looks like I had extra Giants belts up on Shen now, so yeah, and Ninja Tabe, sorry, was what he used his other cloth armor for. He's only got 1 right now. I have to say, one of the interesting things about the way Tabe plays support Annie specifically, as I'm kind of going through items, he never really seems to buy too much in the way of items.
No, I mean, the first time we saw support Annie, I believe it might have been a losing affair. He did get some early Doran's rings. He might have picked up a kill. It might have been a snowball choice, but just been sitting on just the sight zone the walls, relying on the base damages there, which I think is just fine. Doran's rings for a bit more presence in maybe a lane that you'd expect to lose or go even in, I can understand, but now just the boots and mobility complementing the sight stone here. That's all support needs.
Yeah, now Sika again in trouble there. Blade of the Ruin King going to come through. Can't Lanting yourself out there. And Uzi going to pick up another kill there. I mean, Twitch Gragas at this point, just picking up people wherever they can. I mean, White is liberally throwing out that ultimate, and why wouldn't you as Gragas with a blue buff now as well? And Uzi, of course, we've seen it time and time again from Twitches, but when they get their Blade of the Ruin King in their head, they love to be aggressive.
And we just see now kind of the converse of what we expected last game. Last game we expected the Caitlyn to pick up a Bloodthirster for sieging, you know, as an offensive choice. This is kind of an emergency Bloodthirster here. They're not in a position to siege. They just wanted to finish an item and have a bit of lifesteal to back it up.
Maybe make the wave clear a little bit better there. Tabe off to the side, ready to flash over those trees. Potentially throw down the Tibbers, but Royal take that other turret. PE give it up there. They really didn't want to contest for that tier 2. In fact, with Oracles here, Royal could maybe think about rushing towards Baron, which would be quite a scary thought here for Positive Energy. But instead going to rotate through the mid, maybe just clear out some more waves. And really at this point the map is absolutely theirs. I mean, Tabe kind of caught off to the side there. Jing doesn't quite want to follow up there and Lee Sin, because of course the rest of Royal are just hanging out in the mid lane. And Positive Energy forced back towards their base at this point, really going to be stuck in the lower third of the map. But I think Royal are actually going to attempt the Baron hit. Nope, never mind. They tricked me. They're just going to back off and spend some more money.
The Baron damage is actually pretty low. I mean, Shyvana does consistent damage, you know, the 30% bonus with a Q auto attack resets is something, but it's only Twitch here that has strong Baron damage. Burst damage from Gragas, not so useful against that giant purple snake.
Tabe here gonna get hooked up as well. There's a flayback connect. Looks like the Canines rides in as well. Renex and Tabe in trouble as Tibbers goes down. And Annie there, not good news for Royal. In fact, Lucky just getting out with Dragon Center. There's a flash over for Renekton. Gonna try and clean up the Shyvana. Ace in the hole as well. Not quite going to get it done. Shyvana actually pretty tanky. Now Jing going to get moved into spray and pray. The damage through there as well. Twitch with a double kill actually as Zed finally picks up Shyvana. Uzi tries to cleanse off that stun but doesn't quite time it correctly, but White's going to come through as well. He'll stand his ground. Doesn't quite get the kill, although picks it up there as Jojo comes through. Now the Sage United in as well. A nice lantern out there as White's still looking for a couple more there. I mean, Sika there with a few nice lanterns there, one aggressively, one defensively to get them out there. A great flay on the body slam there as well, and a nice flash there to make sure he gets away. So great thresh mechanics there from Sika. And unfortunately for Royal, the Oracles ran out for Shyvana and they were sitting on top of a ward for about 25 seconds. So Positive Energy take a kill there opportunistically where they can, but still kind of trade even there. And that's bad news for Positive Energy fans. Royal still looking very strong.
Yeah, an even trade with such a strong pick there. Not ideal for Positive Energy, but doesn't put them any further behind, which is something that you should take into account.
No, I mean, gives them a goal that they want to have, of course. I mean, Royal at this point can't get too much further ahead. They're already very, very far ahead in this game. So P will take the trades there as they come, but definitely move them off Baron as well if that was their plan, which was very sneaky there of Royal. But still at this point, looking good. The gold lead, not quite super massive. 8,000 is pretty significant at 19.5 minutes, but I mean, it's not the 10,000 yet. That's always the dreaded number that we look at, looking at how far ahead teams are. Sika here with some nice pink ward coverage. Going to clear out wards where he can. Looks like Oracles might be back up here for Royal as well. Dragon goes down there as Royal continue to pick up global gold here. And I mean, Positive Energy at this point, Papa, what can they really do? I mean, it's the second game in a row now where we've seen Zed, who wants to be split pushing and pressuring other lanes, just does not have any opportunity to do that at all.
Well, they're lost with they're kind of resigned at this point to have this teamfight comp. It isn't a teamfight comp, it's more of a comp around split pushing, once again, as we see with the Caitlyn pick, with the Zed and Caitlyn. And when you're this far behind, that's not an option. So they're kind of looking for a pick much similar to the one they got before, but even that almost ideal scenario only bought them a 3-for-3.
Lucky is back with the Oracles now as well, able to clear out wards so efficiently of Shyvana. In fact, they're going to start a fighting. Great Tibbers though from Tabe. Jojo tries to get in there. The ult followed up for Gragas in there as well. And they're going to chase down that Zed. He will fall down. Lucky, little too far forward. Their Canons are trying to get out of the way. Godlike round the side. They're taunts up on a 2 people there. Now Sika going to pay the price as he goes down. And Lee Sin picked up Shyvana, but a 3-for-1 trade there for Royal. And just continue to pile on the kills. And now going to pressure the mid inhibitor.
Yeah, Renekton popping so fast there, which is super scary as a Positive Energy fan.
Yeah, used his ultimate, has Sunfire Cape, Warden's Mail, Ninja Tabe, Doran Shield, and just got destroyed there. I mean, Jing around the back, gonna try and do something, maybe just run some distraction here. Hope Royal get off the tower, but not gonna happen this time around. The mid inhibitor turret goes down. The mid inhibitor itself should be falling in short order. And Royal now 10,000 plus gold in the lead here.
You can tell Royal's mindset is to finish this game and finish it soon. Not necessarily because they're outcomped in any way. They actually probably win the late game team fights, but you see a blue elixir's been chucked by Whites here on the Gragas. A chain vest coming out as third item from Twitch here, just for a bit of extra survivability. I mean, Gragas is at his strongest point here. He's in the mid game, he's got a very nice chunk of AP, probably around 350 to 400 AP here, with those very high ratios on his Q and R. They're looking to finish this game soon, based on time.
And really, with the lead they have, why wouldn't they? They're just so ahead at this point against Positive Energy. And I think although I agree with you in terms of 5v5 team fight, they probably win. I think they're honestly just afraid of maybe Zed actually getting to a point where he can effectively split push, because that will get to a point. Zed will have plenty of items eventually down the line there, and that's a little scary. They don't necessarily want to have to fight against a split push. I mean, they've got Shen, but it's a little flaky potentially. And you know what?
What kill potential does it really have against a Sunfire Cape and Randuin's Omen Shen? Like, that Shen is a beefy man.
Well, right now, absolutely nothing. Towards the later stages of the game, maybe Zed becomes more of a threat, and I don't think Royal are looking to take that chance at all. I like this too, by the way. Shen down the bottom, split pushing. The rest of Royal on Baron. I mean, this is classic Shen pressure, really. That global allows you to pressure from pretty much any point on the map. And there's two people down the bottom trying to answer him. This is exactly what Royal want here. I mean, Sika could maybe find a steal. In fact, Stanton not activated there. Gets stopped there by Ruth the Spreader. Now he's forced to taunt there as the Gragas ult comes in. Sika, though, in the mix here. Name picks up Taba there, which isn't too bad. The Baron pretty low there, but actually picked up by Twitch there. As Uzi's going to do enough damage. Jing there looking to maybe get the steal done. He ends up feeding the double kill over to Twitch instead. Godlike still alive, by the way. Happily 1v2ing here. Neither member from Positive Energy can get the kill. The red buff there on Shen as well. Slowly but surely, just slowing Kane to absolute pieces right now. I mean, Renekton, he's going to try there. He dices out of the way after a stun from his W. But I mean, still Godlike's going to chase in there. He's happily chasing two people that tried to kill him only seconds earlier. And of course, that Baron buff's going to make a difference here as well.
It was just a mistake coming out from Positive Energy to send two members to stop a Shen, though. They didn't have the wall coverage around Baron. I mean, Shen can still throw a shield down, so it's going to be a 4v3 with, at this point, a 550 damage shield coming out from the Shen, whether you stop that port or not. So, again, Shen forces false choices, Shen forces bad engages in bad spots, and unfortunately Positive Energy worked their way into one right there.
Yeah, I mean, all the aggression from Royal really paying off. And you can tell they just want to close out this game, and they're doing so very soundly here. I mean, it's one thing to know how to get ahead in the early game. It's another thing entirely to close out games decisively. And Royal, a team that you said maybe a couple weeks ago, look a little scattered with their team comps, with their play, playing very, very precise League of Legends here. And it's scary. I mean, they're channeling OMG the last few times I've seen them play, and this is the absolute scariest I think I've ever seen them.
And they've shown now that they have two winning comps, and the Fizz comp with the pressure of the top Fizz, it has to be banned out this game. They've shown the pressure of their push comp, that was a target ban before, now just not being put into practice. It was available here, Caitlyn wasn't available pick, so who's to know what else they have to cook up in this LPL pastry time.
You know what, I'm curious, if teams start banning Annie against Royal, I think Ataba would be very impressed to have a target ban all to himself, but every time he plays this Annie, he's looked very, very good, even though I guess the first few times didn't look as great. The last few weeks he's looked terrifying.
It just offers so much. I mean, an AoE stun and an AoE magic damage followed up. And the Tibbers, it works offensively and defensively. Hell, you can even use it to siege just because it tanks so many turrets.
Sicker looking there, another good AoE stun on the Tibbers. The damage just coming in there as K9's a solo Uzi actually popped over the top by Jing, going in there, happy there, just to clean up people where he can. And that may have been a mistake. I mean, Lee Sin and Zed dived on top of that Twitch, and the result was a 5-0 win there for Royal in that team fight. Just far too far ahead here in this one. That's going to be the push down. In fact, Positive Energy not even interested in letting the Nexus for themselves. They're going to surrender.
And GG well played to Royal pastry time. As I was saying throughout the cast here, they just had so many layers to their early game strategy, hit all of them, and just looked dominant against Positive Energy, putting themselves to 8-6. Positive Energy slipping a bit, 10-4 now after that win. Still 2 games clear of their opponents here, Royal, but Royal are riding a rave of momentum.
They really, really are, and of course, I mean, that's a game where really you'd love to just go back and watch the first 10 minutes in great detail over and over again.
And our viewers can.
You absolutely can. Head over to youtube.com/lolchamp so you can check out this game again, or any of the other games here from Week 5, Weeks 3, and 4, where we've got coverage all the way through there for you for the Tencent LPL Summer. More games coming up, of course. We're not quite done here. Halfway through Week 5, Day 2 of the Tencent LPL Summer. We'll be back shortly.